Hi everyone, it's Ruby G. Welcome to Truth and Neurons. Today we're going to be talking about the Vampire Diaries statement, witness accounts that don't match the script. Before we get into the witness statements, I want to set the scene exactly as it was described in police documents. Bethany Funk told investigators that in the hours before the murders, she was in the living room at 1122 King Road with Dylan Mortensen and someone referred to only as L. They were watching the Vampire Diaries. Now, what you're about to see is just fiction, but it's the fiction that was playing in the living room hours before the murders. Notice the tone, notice the imagery. If you've never seen it, the show is built around themes of violence, intimate predation, and sudden up-close attacks. It has a romantic element, but it's laced with imagery of sharp weapons, surprise killings, and moments of control over a helpless victim. I'm going to play you about a minute of the show's trailer, just so that you can get a sense of the tone and the kind of imagery that was on the screen in the living room before the murders.
You and I, we have something. I love you.
Wherever you go, people die. Anyone. Time.
Stay away from me.
Anything.
That's the world we live in.
Again, watching a violent show doesn't make someone a killer. But when real-life events mirror the tone of what witnesses were watching just hours before, it becomes a detail worth noting. Not because it proves guilt, but because it adds context to the mental and social atmosphere in the house. And with that context, let's talk about the statements themselves. In the Noon's Vampire Diaries police report, Dylan Mortensen gives an account that is radically different from the one in the probable cause affidavit. She says she heard Kaylee scream, "Somebody's in the house," then ran downstairs to the second floor, locked herself in her room, and overheard a male voice saying, "You're going to be fine. I'm going to help you." That's not the image of her frozen in shock, as the PCA claimed. This is a calm, identifiable male voice, one the state has never matched to a suspect. Bethany's version raises even more questions. She says she was awake in the living room with Dylan and Elle before bed, watching Vampire Diaries. Later, she hears what she describes as a firecracker sound and sees a flash of light under her bedroom door. Then, between 4:21 and 4:31 a.m., she makes 5 unanswered calls to Zana and Ethan, and then she goes back to sleep. That's not the behaviour of someone who learns of a murder hours later. It's the behaviour of someone who knew something was wrong early on. And this is really alarming. The report also documents confusion at the scene. Officers initially misidentified who was where, at first believing Kaylee was on the second floor with Ethan. That kind of early mistake can prematurely skew the direction of an investigation. Then there's the forensic gap. So the southwest patio door was allegedly the masked intruder's exit point and was found open, but there's no record of it being swabbed for prints or DNA. Entry logs show a steady flow of personnel, including prosecutors entering and leaving during the most critical evidence collection hours. And most damning, for the single perpetrator narrative, this report confirms a third person, Elle, who was inside the house before the killings. That's in addition to Dylan's unidentified male's voice and Bethany's unexplained firecracker event. That's not one intruder, that's multiple unexplained presences. From a behavioural perspective, Dylan and Bethany's failure to call 911, even after hearing these alarming sounds, is deeply atypical unless they knew the intruder, were impaired, or were protecting someone. When you put it all together, this one report gives the defence 3 major openings. inconsistent timelines, multiple male presences, and confirmation of a third unidentified person in the house. These aren't background details. They're cracks in the foundation of the prosecution's entire case, and they've been buried, quietly logged in police files, while the public is told a clean, simple one-suspect story. That's all for today's episode of Truth and Neurons. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on the ethics of media commentary in high-profile cases. Until next time, keep thinking critically and questioning everything. Cheers, bye!